Having known that I had silently liked my childhood sweetheart for many years, my roommate took the initiative to say she would help me win him over. Trusting her, I even followed her advice to take the first step in approaching him, but not long after, she publicly announced on social media that she was dating my childhood sweetheart, boldly declaring, "If you can't win him over, don't blame me for taking him first." I stayed silent for a long time over this. She mistook my silence for sadness, kept boasting, and even said she'd invite me out to eat together with my childhood sweetheart. I was just thinking, because half a month ago I had accidentally used the very method she taught me to seduce her aloof, noble younger uncle. Just a moment ago, that man came looking for me, wanting to clarify our relationship. I had just added him to my WeChat block list when Shen returned to the dormitory. She was holding a bouquet of pale pink roses, with an upward smile waving. "I have a boyfriend now." She was the very first close friend I'd made when entering university. Hearing that she had a boyfriend, I sincerely felt happy for her. "Who is he? Is he someone from our school?" Facing my question, Shen only furrowed her brows, her eyes unreadable. "Haven't you checked your moments?" Hearing that, I looked down and opened WeChat. Immediately seeing Shen's public photo. In the picture, Shen was snuggling close to a man, the whole photo radiating a happiness that words couldn't describe. And her boyfriend, I not only knew him but was also very familiar with him. "You're dating teacher Dubai?" Seeing the familiar face in the photo, I couldn't help but ask aloud. "Teacher Dubai is my childhood sweetheart. We've known each other since we were young and I've liked him since high school. That's why I followed him to this university, planning to win him over step by step through persistence." But shortly after enrollment, Shen learned I liked him and offered to help me pursue teacher Dubai. By then, there was already some ambiguity between teacher Dubai and me. Only one last step was missing. So when my roommate kindly offered her help, I didn't refuse. She gave me quite a few tips, but somehow Dubai and I grew more distant. Now, looking at this public photo, I no longer understand Shen at all. Choking back tears, I asked, still unable to believe what I saw. At that moment, Shen placed a bouquet of roses on the table, then turned to me, speaking gently. "You couldn't win him over, so don't blame me for taking him first." After saying that, she restored her usual gentle demeanor, smiled brightly, and grasped my hand. "I'm serious about it, Bai. I know you'll bless us, right?" As she said this, her eyes never left me, as if trying to see through something. Just as she hoped, I was silent for a moment before forcefully pulling my hand away. Shen raised an eyebrow, then sneered coldly. "It's just a man after all. He insisted on pursuing me. I had no choice. Besides, you two weren't together in the first place. This isn't interference at worst. You're just useless, right?" Every word of hers shattered all the good impressions I once had. Perhaps seeing that I had nothing to say, Shen took out her phone and called Dubai right in front of me. Within 2 seconds, the call connected. Dubai's gentle voice sounded over the line. "Tian, missing me so soon after we parted?" Shen didn't answer but kindly turned on the speakerphone, eyes gleaming with pride as she looked at me, then softly replied, "Yes, let's have dinner together tonight." She paused a moment, eyes scanning me several times before lightly laughing. "I bet Tian already knows about our love. Since you two are childhood sweethearts anyway, how about we meet tonight for dinner and reminisce? What do you think?" On the other end, Dubai was silent for a moment before softly responding, "Sure, when you're ready, I'll come pick you both up." While the call was still ongoing, Shen suddenly looked at me as if she had realized something. "Tian, I don't want to fight over a man with you, but I really like Dubai, and it just so happens he likes me too." She spoke, believing I would understand them. "I hope you come to dinner tonight, otherwise I'd feel very guilty." As she spoke, she put on an aggrieved expression, her voice carrying a hint of choked emotion. At this, on the other end, lay Dubai, hearing the change, immediately adopted a stern tone. "Tian, don't bully Shen. This is between me and her. I know you like me, but I've always regarded you as my sister. If anything comes up, just tell me. Don't make things difficult for my girlfriend." They went back and forth. Even though I hadn't said a word, I was treated as the villain by default. I was about to speak when my phone buzzed with a message. Looking down, it was from an unknown number. Opening it cautiously, I read the message and was shaken inside. My expression apparently led Shan Shan to misinterpret that I was sad. She smiled even more smugly, patted my shoulder, then turned into the bathroom, saying, "I'm just touching up my makeup, let's go eat together tonight." I watched her retreating figure, silently lowering my head back to my phone. My long silence wasn't due to sadness over losing the one I liked, but because I was thinking. Because half a month ago, I had accidentally used the method Shan Shan taught me to seduce a man. Only 2 days ago, I learned that he was Shan Shan's aloof, noble younger uncle. At that time, I practically fled the hotel in a scruffy state, clutching my clothes and stumbling out awkwardly. But that man wasn't willing to let me go. Every day, he changed his number to text me. Just now, he sent a message saying he had come to campus looking for me, wanting to clarify our relationship. After that experience, I already knew his name well. His name often came up respectfully and admirably in my parents' conversations. Like a legendary figure, at a very young age, he had taken over the Shan Corporation in less than 5 years and turned it into the leading commercial giant in the capital. No one dared to underestimate him. As such an outstanding character, rumors outside only said he was devoted to work. Almost 30 years old, still no woman by his side, living like a monk. Shan Shan had also mentioned her younger uncle in the dorm. Their words were full of respect. Her family was well connected, with many influential people with thick bloodlines. Currently, the head of the family was Shan Han Yunan. That's why Shan Shan's parents tried every means to curry favor with him. Shan Shan had tried to build a good relationship with this younger uncle, but he was always cold, sometimes indifferent. Still, being family, Shan Shan was cherished within the circle. After all, many people wanted to approach Shan Han and ran through Shan Shan. At Shan Shan's last birthday, he unexpectedly appeared, though I hadn't seen his face clearly. I called out younger uncle from afar, saying we would have nothing to do with each other anymore. But who knew I'd invite trouble upon myself, not only getting involved with him once, but just the day before also going to bed with him. No. He came in person to find me at school. I was afraid he was truly standing guard in front of my dorm, so I hurried downstairs, guided by his location, heading toward the familiar machine. As I approached, the car window rolled down. Shan Hanuman's face, strikingly handsome to the point of indignation, tilted slightly before he got into the car. His voice was deeply heartfelt. I couldn't help but exclaim, "This man is completely different on and off the bed." My mind unconsciously recalled the intimate scene, slender hands gripping my waist tightly, cold lips pressing against my neck, calling me baby incessantly, making my whole body tremble. Now, those same hands rhythmically tapped on the car window, but somehow left my throat dry. Trying to gather my thoughts, I quickly glanced around. At this hour, many people were passing by. I might run into classmates. So I hurriedly said, "Younger uncle, what happened yesterday was just an accident. Besides, it was my first time. Even if I dirtied you, you still enjoyed it, right? I meant please don't come looking for me again." But I didn't dare say it outright, fearing he'd strangle me. He has the habit. But Shan Hanuman just silently looked at me. His gaze swept over me several times before tapping lightly on the car window again. I said one last time, "Get in." His voice was cold, emotionless, like a threat, making me feel I'd be torn apart if I didn't obey. I surrendered quickly, not daring to say another word, opened the passenger door, climbed in, and closed it. Every outside sound was cut off. I sat upright, not daring to look up at him, only hoping to see the sunlight tomorrow. I don't know how long passed. Suddenly, Shen Hanuman reached out, making me startle. I looked up at him cautiously. He slightly restrained his gaze, showing helplessness. Then he fastened my seatbelt before saying, "Let me take you to dinner." I nodded but couldn't help asking, "So I definitely have to take responsibility for you, right?" Recalling the messages he sent these past 2 days. Every word accused me of being unfaithful. He put on his clothes and brushed off his hands, about to leave. Hearing my question, he raised his eyebrows and said patiently, "Already asleep? Single?" That night was also my first time, and I nearly lost my life. I silently rubbed my back. Though I had rested a long time, it still ached. His eyes deepened, following my gesture. "Tan, I'm quite traditional. I want to keep myself pure for my future wife. But since you've slept with me, you have to take responsibility." "What's wrong with that?" That's true, but I really can't see where your tradition lies. That night, from the floor to ceiling window, the sofa to even the bathroom, every place was relentlessly tormented by him. What tradition? He's just good at making excuses. I naturally dared not say these words and forced a weak smile. So how do you want me to take responsibility? Can't tease me. Really can't. If you anger me, your family company might be smashed. My parents would definitely team up to punish me. My tender skin can't take it. For now, I could only take it step by step, plan each move carefully. Perhaps my words pleased Shanhan Numan. He slightly curved the corner of his mouth, smiled faintly, then reached out to ruffle my cheek. At least give me a title first, right? His words sounded, and I immediately saw Shang Shan and Dui Dubai approaching. Almost by instinct, I bent down. Shan Han Numan slightly leaned toward me. My bending brought my face against his thigh. He quietly held his breath, placing his hand on my head, gently stroking. His voice carried clear laughter. You're the one who took the initiative. What initiative? He couldn't hold back. I slapped his thigh forcefully. Shin Han Numan uttered a soft sound, then his hand on my head tightened. The atmosphere in the car grew weird. Though not naive, I hurriedly reminded, Chen Shan is coming. Shen Han Numan said nothing, still stroking my head. His voice had a husky tone. Don't want her to know the true nature of our relationship. I sensed Shen Han Numan was a bit displeased. When he's unhappy, he likes to dig into others. For my health, I hurriedly replied. I have some conflicts with her. I don't want her to know for now. Anyway, since she calls me younger aunt, she should be informed properly. In a more formal occasion, that'd be interesting, right? This clearly pleased him. He chuckled softly. I glanced up slightly to see Shan Shan and teacher Dubai approaching. Shan Shan seemed to have recognized the car. Quickening her pace, I quickly patted Shan Han Nuyen's shoulder. Don't roll the window down. But it was obviously too late. The car window was knocked on. I panicked and tapped Shan Han Nuyen's thigh. His hoarse voice gripped my hand firmly. Fool, don't move recklessly. After saying that, he took a jacket from beside him and covered me completely. Cassette enveloped me. Only darkness remained before my eyes, but my ears clearly heard every sound around. I heard the car window roll down. Shang Shan's excited voice rang out. Younger uncle, why are you here? She paused. Her gaze seemed to follow me. Who is that? Worried, I couldn't help but subtly tap his thigh. Shen Han Yuan's body tensed slightly, then his right hand slid under the jacket and gently gripped my waist. I anxiously gasped but bit my lip to keep quiet. After a long while, Shen Han Yuan finally spoke. Your younger aunt? Younger aunt, so she also studies here? Which faculty? I can take care of her at school. Make sure no one dares bully her. I always knew Shang Shan wanted to curry favor with Shang Han Nunan, but I didn't expect her to flatter him to this extent. Her curious gaze stayed on me. Without the jacket shielding me, the situation would surely be embarrassing. Your younger aunt is a bit shy. Let me introduce you to after some time. Shen Han Yunan paused, then asked, Who is she? Thai Dubai, my boyfriend. Hearing that, I felt nothing in particular, because recently, my feelings for Thoi Dubai had changed due to some unexpected developments with him and Shan Shan. I was just a little surprised. Hello, Uncle Shan. I'm Thai Dubai. My father is Thai Mak, chairman of Thai Corporation. I wonder if you still remember. The humility in Thai Dubai's words surprised me. I had never seen it before. The Thai family belonged to a noble lineage. Thai Dubai had been a cherished child since childhood, highly praised and rarely humbled. But compared to the Shan family, the Thai family was indeed a rung lower. Covered by the jacket for too long, I felt suffocated. I gently tapped his thigh. Receiving the signal, Shan Hanuman sat up straighter. Then he coldly said, Don't remember, I'm taking my girlfriend out to dinner. Others can wait. After speaking, he didn't wait for a response and lifted the window. Wait, Uncle Shan. I still have something to. Through the window gap, I saw Thai Dubai suddenly lean his face close, almost pressing against the car. At the same moment, suffocating, I slightly jerked upwards. The smooth jacket slipped down with my movement at just the right moment. I thought I was about to be exposed. Shen Han Yuan suddenly reached out to hold the sliding jacket, covering my head again. Darkness enveloped me. I could only clutch his pants tightly. My hand was a bit strong, his body tensed slightly. His large hand gripped my nape, pressing down a bit. I didn't dare move, keeping still. Because of this incident, Shan Hanuman's Adam's apple moved slightly. He impatiently interrupted. Theta Bay, what you have to say can wait. I'm busy. Hearing the annoyance in his voice, Theta Bay didn't say more. Only his absent gaze seemed to want to penetrate the fur on me. Shan Hanuman gently patted my back as if comforting me. Then I heard the car window go up. The car started moving. Only after the car left the campus grounds did I finally exhale, remove the jacket from my head, and sit up straight. Such paranoia of being discovered. Suddenly, Shan Hanuman spoke. His face looked like smiling without real laughter. But his eyes showed no humor. Honestly, I was a little scared of him. Even my father said he was a cunning fox. He never allowed any cracks. Once he acted, there was no turning back. So I immediately shook my head. How could that be? It's just that Shan was there, and I was afraid of getting embarrassed. This time, Shan Hanuman said no more. His gaze fixed ahead, one hand gripping the steering wheel tightly. His face flashed cold. I was extremely afraid of silence and awkwardness. I tried to start a conversation. Yonder uncle, I think you should change your belt. It's too hard, it hurt me just now. I rubbed my cheek as I spoke. The earlier situation had happened so suddenly, I hadn't thought, bending down. My face hit something hard, still aching now. To keep the conversation going, I seriously pointed at his pants. Next instant, the car braked sharply. I jumped, stunned, staring blankly at the red light ahead. Shan Hanuman finally turned to look at me. Not the belt? You're teasing me? If not the belt, then what? So hard it hurts. I was about to retort when an image flashed in my mind 18 times. Besides his belt, there was something else equally hard. That thing could really hurt me. My words were cut off. The car's atmosphere suddenly turned deadly silent. He and I looked at each other. His eyes were deep black like a bottomless abyss. The surrounding air grew oppressive. Not daring to say another word, I lowered my head silently but kept thinking. My gaze uncontrollably drifted to one spot. Yes, that spot did protrude quite a bit. Maybe my gaze was too obvious. That thing seemed to move even more wildly. I panicked and quickly turned my face away. The car continued moving slowly forward. I don't know how long this lasted. Shan Hanuman still said nothing, until the car stopped again, at a restaurant. Before I could finish speaking, he quickly unbuckled his seatbelt. Leaning toward me, he lifted my face and kissed me furiously and passionately. Hey Shan Hanuman, you know I lifted your face like this that night. Said you'd teach me how to kiss. He cut me off. So boring. I'm tired of touching. Our hot breaths mingled. His hoarse voice recalled that night. Faint memories flickered in my mind. I suddenly felt a bit flustered. Maybe seeing me silent, he bent down, burying his head in my neck, rubbing lightly a few times. Then his hoarse, gentle voice echoed. So uncomfortable. Help me out. Uncomfortable where? My mouth spoke before my brain. And I regretted it instantly, wanting to bite my tongue and end it all. Shan Hanuman smirked, right hand on mine, guiding me to where it was hot. It's uncomfortable here. You know how to help me, right? Then he bent down again. His hot kisses fell on my neck. I was completely defenseless. Though wanting to push him away, his kisses were so engrossing, I couldn't refuse. Let him do as he pleased. The consequence was my hand nearly broke. After a while, I looked at my still trembling hand. There were several faint white marks. Shan Hanuman bent down and kissed the corner of my mouth, trying to steady his breath. Then taking a tissue, carefully wiped my hand clean. While wiping, he said, It's my fault for letting your little hand do this. Next time, I'll come twice as hard for you. Really, no need. After that chaotic episode, I was truly exhausted. After tittying up simply, Shan Hanuman started the car again, saying he would take me out to eat, leaning on the seat. I planned to nap. In my dream, the few rare moments I met him played like a slow-motion reel. Apart from a brief encounter at Shan's birthday party, I barely remember his face. The first official meeting was at a bar. That day, on Shan's advice. If I wanted to win over Theta Bay, I shouldn't be so bland. So I decided to try the bar once with a learning mindset. I ventured alone into the bar, even pretending to order a drink out of curiosity. I sipped some sweet alcohol, though sweet. It was a cocktail that made my head spin unsteadily afterward. From afar, I saw a figure very much like Theta Bay. Maybe alcohol made me bolder. Wearing 10-centimeter heels, I stepped up to him and pushed him against the wall. The alcohol blurred my vision so I couldn't see clearly. I only knew he looked quite handsome. He didn't resist. I suddenly felt like teasing. Slowly, I raised my hand to touch his face. He didn't move, letting me do whatever. My hand slid lower. I didn't have many fetishes, but ABS were one of them. If I could touch more, even better. But this time he stopped me. Tian Tian, what are you doing? Hearing him say my name didn't surprise me. I was too drunk. My gaze settled on his Adam's apple. When he spoke, seeing that move was truly sexy. In the heat of the moment, I bit him. Hearing his soft groan, I even lipped a circle with my tongue. Then I ran away. The second time we met, also drunk. That time I had quarreled with Day, felt bad, and drank to drown my sorrows. Mimicking the tragic drama heroine, not long after drinking, my head spun again. Sitting on a bench in a park, sober, a man approached. Long legs, broad shoulders, slim waist. I stood unsteadily. He reached out to support me. My two hands touched his hips. The feeling was wonderful. Looking up, his face was incredibly beautiful. He bent his head, seemingly saying something, but I couldn't hear. Only stared at his moving lips. His lips were also beautiful, so I wanted to kiss. Alcohol gave courage and a reason. Shan Shan once said, "Doesn't matter if they like you or not, just kiss first, and you won't lose." At that moment, I wrapped my arms around his neck before kissing. I politely said, "I want to kiss you in 3 seconds, if you don't push me away." It's considered consent. This wasn't coercion. That kiss was long, so long I thought I'd suffocate. And once there's the first time, then a second and third follow. The third time, I and teacher Dubé had a big fight. That time I realized maybe my feelings for him weren't romantic. Also, I found our values were different, so I let go. I wasn't stubborn anymore. I decided to enjoy youth. Glancing at the zero balance in my account, I planned to call 2 male models. While waiting, I forgot the lesson and drank some more. Not enough to be drunk like before. When the door opened, the man who entered was the one I'd met twice. I wanted to shout this was fate. First meeting bit his Adam's apple. Second time kissed his lips. This time we looked at each other. And I saw a flicker of desire in his eyes. I'm not terribly conservative. The man before me had a perfect body, astonishingly handsome face. Doing things with him was like indulging myself. I don't know who took the initiative. Before I realized, we embraced tightly, kissing feverishly, then went to a room. From the door to the sofa, from the sofa to the bed, traces everywhere. At first, discomfort here and there showed his inexperience, but he learned fast. Between spottier pain came waves of intense pleasure. I had to admit I was very happy. Had I not had back pain the next morning, I might have been happier. The aftermath of indulgence was my body falling apart. This time I was fully sober and saw Shin Hanuman's face clearly, before I could comment. I spotted his hit card on the floor with his name. Suddenly, I realized I had thought he was just a handsome face I could keep around for fun. But it turned out he was Shin Hanuman, a man capable of buying out my family's company. I was so scared I leapt off the bed. Looking at my torn clothes scattered on the floor, I hurriedly grabbed one of his shirts and bolted. I stayed holed up in the dorm for days. The pain gradually faded. I calmed down, thinking of how to handle this. Shen Hanuman had found my contact and directly demanded I take responsibility. Right after, I learned about Shan Shan and They Dubé. Each scene played back in my mind. Finally, Shen Hanuman's exaggerated face appeared, saying he wanted to die in bed with me. Then I woke up with a start. Shen Hanuman took me to dinner first, then said he wanted to settle the score with me. So once again, I followed him to the familiar presidential suite. Under Shan Hanuman's name were numerous properties, but most of the year, he preferred hotels. Opening the door, it was the usual decor. If I had seen scraps of torn fabric scattered on the bed, I might have been happier. Shan Hanuman, are you a pervert? Why haven't these things been thrown away? I pointed at the scraps on the bed, turning to him. My expression was beyond shocked. That night was too intense. He lost patience and tore all my clothes. When he left, I wore his shirt, so the ripped clothes remain in this room. I thought they'd be discarded, but returned to find them untouched. Shan Hanuman didn't show any shame. He took my hand and stepped forward, slightly bending to pick up a torn piece. He tilted his head and looked at me. Things you left behind. How could I bear to throw them away? As he spoke, his gaze lingered on me. finally settling on my neck. There was a bite mark he left. It didn't hurt, just teasing me. I snatched the fabric from him, crushed it into a ball. Looking to throw it away, suddenly a big hand hugged my waist, pulling me close. His head rubbed lightly against my back. Voice low and deep. Silly girl, that still wasn't loud enough. His voice grew hoarser. His arms tightened. Our bodies pressed together. I could easily feel his change. What had been still and quiet was now gradually awakening. I wanted to retreat but was held tighter. Hot kisses fell on my neck again. Shenhanbia, you just ate. Not took medicine. Don't wake up now. I had to admit Shenhan and men learn fast. Except for the awkwardness at first, now every kiss quickly left me powerless to resist. My legs softened, unsteady. He wrapped his arms around my waist, lifted me onto the table. His gaze drifted to the nearby floor-to-ceiling window. You said the scenery outside was beautiful that night, so let's enjoy it again, honestly. I wanted to refuse, but the man pressed his lips to mine, and my belt he pulled down. Then I placed my hands on the window, looking outside, feeling very uneasy. Fool, you know how to write my name, right? He kissed my ear lightly, then pointed to the window. Write my name there, I won't bother you anymore. How about that? I couldn't say a word, only nodded, hoping it would end soon. But every time I wrote 2 strokes, I couldn't control myself. In short, I couldn't finish writing. Not at all. The next morning, I woke clear-headed, slightly regretful, especially when I pressed my hand to my waist and felt the familiar ache again, blaming myself for being tempted and falling. Hungry? The man behind also sat up, approaching me, kissing my cheek. The memory from last night lingered. I quickly shook my head. Not hungry at all. But my stomach betrayed me, rolling. Shenhan and man chuckled softly, as if having an idea. His hand slipped under the blanket, resting on my belly. I already fed it 3 times. Then he kissed the corner of my mouth. Now it's this place's turn. Then he skillfully picked up the clothes on the floor and dressed me one by one. I didn't move, nor had the strength. After tidying up, we went out to find a restaurant for a quick breakfast. Finally, I felt alive again. Before leaving, I stopped by the restroom. Unexpectedly, Shan Shan and They Dubai were there. Tian Tian, why are you here? Shan Shan looked at me with slightly surprised eyes. They Dubai similarly frowned, scrutinizing me from head to toe. I didn't look at him but stared straight at Shan Shan in front of me. Of course, going to a restaurant was to eat. My tone was far from pleasant. After all, I once truly considered her a friend. But she only wanted to tour with me. Shan Shan caught the dissatisfaction in my words. Her smile deepened. Tian Tian, I know you still can't forgive me, but love is really uncontrollable. We're roommates. You and Abai are childhood sweethearts. If you two drift apart because of me, I'd feel very guilty. A masterclass in acting. I smiled and nodded. Fine, so you two break up right here. How about that? Shan Shan's smile froze completely. I didn't expect to say it so bluntly. Before, because I considered her my best friend, I always endured, always smiled, easy to be bullied. But now, having decided to sever ties, I'd do whatever I pleased. Shan Shan's eyes reddened, but she didn't forget to grab Thay Dubai's hand. Her official boyfriend. Thay Dubai raised his eyebrows, his gaze fixed on me. His voice carried clear reproach. Shan Shan only meant well. Do you have to be so harsh? Moreover, she and I are both willing parties. We haven't done anything wrong to you. She has treated you well many times. Don't you think you're being unreasonable, Tian Tian? I think you should apologize to her. Apologize. I gave a cold laugh and glanced at him. Apologize to your great-grandpa. No one understands Floyd Dubé better than I do. Maybe I once wore rose-colored glasses, but after several fights, I clearly saw his true face, so every word he now spoke made me laugh. One wants to hit, the other wants to endure. Well then, I stood by to watch the show, having no desire to face them anymore. I turned and walked into the restroom to freshen up and touch up makeup. When I came out, only Thay Dubai remained. He looked like he wanted to say something. I didn't want to pay attention, planning to pass by, but Thay Dubai grabbed my hand. Tian Tian, can you not be angry anymore? His voice was tired but tried to soothe me. I turned. Our eyes met. He still had the familiar gentleness I used to know, as if nothing had changed, but I knew everything was different. Seeing I didn't answer, Thay Dubai continued. Tian, over all these years, you didn't believe me or feel my feelings. Some things can be done on impulse, but I promise one day I will give you what you want, okay? Hearing his self-righteous promise, I felt nauseous. Otherwise, we wouldn't have argued so fiercely many times, until bit by bit, the vague feelings I had for him were completely worn away. So I didn't bother thinking, brushing his hand aside. What you want to do is your business, not mine. I didn't care. That's right, I really don't care anymore. After all, Shanhan the man is beside me now. Jealous at every move, ready to fight when displeased. My waist really couldn't stand it. Having said that, I planned to leave. But then Bai stopped me again. Tian, don't be so stubborn. Some things aren't just about feelings. You're grown up now. I don't believe you. Don't understand me and Shan being together, but I hope you can be like before. Whether with me or her. Like before? Like how? Before he could finish, Shan Yuan arrived. His face stiffened, obviously angry. I quietly lowered my head and stepped back from Fei Dubai a bit. President Shan, what are you doing here? Fei Dubai immediately changed his attitude. His face shifted to a surly expression. At that moment, Shan came forward. Her joyful face couldn't hide caution as she sweet-talked the younger uncle. You're here to eat too? Shan Yuan coldly looked at them. His voice calm, unchanged. Come to a restaurant but don't eat. What else is there to eat? The two in front immediately choked. Shan looked a bit flustered. After all, she always claimed to have a good relationship with the younger uncle. Embarrassed in front of me and Bei, she clearly refused to accept this. Her gaze shifted to me, then showed a pitiful look. She spoke with resentment. Me and Bai are eating here. Didn't expect to meet Tian. Seems like she hated me now. She threw harsh words at me. Younger uncle, did I do something wrong? Hearing that, I silently rolled my eyes. Shan Yuan looked at me like waiting for my response. I lowered my eyes slightly. He raised an eyebrow and said along. She's bullying me. Shan nodded, looking aggrieved. Maybe because I'm not good enough. I struggled to hold back laughter but pretended to be angry. Looking straight at Shan Yuan, I just don't like her, still scolding her. Are you planning to discipline me? Shan Yuan's face didn't change as he nodded. Needs disciplining. After saying that, he glanced at me and walked away. I remember recently Shan Corporation and my family's company had cooperated. Right, guess what? If my dad knew I offended someone from Shan family, he'd be furious. I hurried after him, talking while walking. Shan Yuan, how can you be like this? When leaving the restaurant, I no longer saw those troublesome two. Only then did I sigh in relief. Han Yuan pinched my cheek lightly. You really have strange tastes. Yes, I like acting anytime, anywhere. If my parents didn't forbid, I'd already be in showbiz, now that we've confirmed our relationship. I'm no longer afraid of Shan Yuan. I even dared to tease him. I smiled at him, my right hand gently touching his Adam's apple. In a very low voice, I call it method acting. I didn't like the play on words. As soon as I finished, his Adam's apple moved violently. He pulled my hand, shoved me into the car, and sped off insanely fast. In less than 30 minutes, we returned to the familiar presidential suite. Sitting on the bed, I felt something was off, running from him. Removing my tie, he looked at me. Like it, but you told me to discipline you, so tell me, how should I do it? Saying that, he grabbed my ankle and pulled me toward him. After that, I rested for a few days until fully recovered. After all, I couldn't skip lessons forever. Returning to school, as soon as I opened the dorm door, I saw Shan sitting on a chair playing on her phone. Upon seeing me, her eyes immediately scanned me with scrutiny, maybe because no one else was around. And we were now complete enemies. She no longer held back. A malicious smile appeared on her face. Who would Tian? The past few days must have been hard, huh? Hearing her words, my mind flashed to Shan Yuan. Damn him. Not sure where he got an ancient book and seriously claimed it was a treasure from the ancients. Then used me to practice all the content. I didn't answer. Shan seemed to misunderstand something. Remember to talk more. I told you, my younger uncle is very protective of family. You offended me. Prepare to be punished. Your family company won't last long anyway. She stopped a bit. Her eyes shifted, then continued. If you kneel now and apologize to me, admit you shouldn't have offended me, maybe I'll forgive you, and tell the younger uncle to stop bothering your family. How about that? How about it? If that's the case, you shouldn't offend me. Maybe I'll forgive you and tell the younger uncle not to trouble your family. How about that? How about it? Come on, all of it. I smiled lightly at her. My smile was heavy-hearted. I looked at her so angrily I was speechless. By the way, I kindly reminded her, Shan, human hearts are unpredictable. You think you're controlling everything, but perhaps you're a pawn in someone else's hands. Yet still arrogant here. Hearing my words, her face worsened, but she laughed. I know you're jealous. I'm jealous. I took your childhood sweetheart. But so what? Though likes me. I just have to snap my fingers. And he runs like a dog. I'm definitely trying to steal your man. And now I have. I'm very happy. Her taunts. I don't believe a word. Not even one word. Really? Good luck. Actually, that day I planned to tell Shashan some things. But upon hearing of her relationship with Dai-to-be, I immediately changed my mind. Their change was too fast, so I decided to stop wasting my kindness. Whatever happened to them was none of my business. I glanced around the dorm. The dorm was very nice. You could pay to stay in a luxury double room. But I definitely didn't want to stay with Shan anymore. So this time back, I just planned to pack my things and get important documents before leaving. Shan called me. In a few days, my family is hosting a grand ball for prestigious families in the capital. You don't even have an invitation, but since we used to be friends, I'll give you one. Saying so, she put the invitation on my desk, her eyes full of pride. I turned and smiled at her. So should I say thank you? Of course, in the end, I didn't take the invitation, because whether or not I had one, I would attend the party. Besides, last night Shen Han and then begged me to go. The show had lasted long enough. It was time to close the curtain. On the night of the ball, Shen Han, as host, had many things to manage, so he wouldn't arrive at the party at the same time as me. I didn't care much, but fate was cruel. The saying familiar paths crossed was never wrong. As soon as I stepped into the hall, I bumped right into Dai-to-be and Shan. They were standing closely, looking well matched at a glance. If only they weren't both harboring 108 schemes inside. Maybe I could have sincerely wished them well. Tian. Didn't you say you wouldn't come? Shan looked at me, a bit surprised, because before I had refused her invitation. Also, this party had very few guests. Even my father didn't have an invitation. Dai-to-be, if not for connections with Shan and the Dai family, would hardly have an invitation, so my presence shocked her. But before I answered, she seemed to realize something and laughed. So that day you said you didn't mean it, but actually sneaked back to the dorm to pick up the invitation I threw in the trash? She purposely raised her voice to catch everyone's attention. Dai-to-be nodded in agreement. Tan, if you really wanted to come, just tell me or Shan. No need to say one thing and do another. Girls should be like Shan. Simple-minded. Why bother with so much calculation? Hearing that, I chuckled coldly, saying only, "You're so patriarchal." After speaking, I looked straight at Shan. We've broken up. Why keep pretending to be close friends? She's better at acting than me. Sina was blunt. Those around began to focus. Shan's face showed anger. She sneered, "If you don't accept the invitation, then you must have sneaked in here." With that, she glanced towards the nearby security group. The Shan family's name could not afford any mistakes with unknown people. Their only option was to be escorted out. The guard stepped forward, looking at Shan and then me. Finally, under Shan's victorious gaze, the guard turned to her. "Miss Shan, please come outside." Shan's triumphant smile instantly frozen. She pointed at herself, voice trembling with anger. "Are you blind? You know I'm Miss Shan and still dare to kick me out?" The guard nodded and gestured politely. At this, I recalled what Shen Han had told me. Last night, though he couldn't enter the party with me, he worried there would be trouble and had instructed in advance that he wouldn't let me suffer injustice. Shan's face was ashen. Especially given the many onlookers, she tried to maintain some dignity. "After all, I'm family to the Shan. If I have to leave, she leaves. Who gave you the green light? How dare you speak to me like that? Any problem?" A familiar voice sounded behind. I turned to see Shen Han in a neat suit approaching. Shan suddenly looked pitiful. Maybe thinking in front of so many people, Shen Han would save face for her, because she was also family of the younger uncle. The uncle must stand up for her. Shan Hanuman didn't even look at her, ignoring her words, stepping before the guard. You did a great job. Double your bonus this month. The guard smiled brightly, looking pleased. He nodded repeatedly, then returned to his post. Shan, thoroughly embarrassed, clenched her lips. Gone was the faint grievance from before. This time she looked on the verge of tears. Thai couldn't help but speak. President Shan, after all. Shan is your niece. You should at least save some face for her. Face? Shan Hanuan chuckled, then looked at Thoi Dubai. How much is her face worth? And you? What are you? After speaking, he ignored Thoi Dubai's sullen face. He turned and walked to me, gripping my hand tightly, slightly bowing, voice gentle. So today you're my girlfriend, right? I nodded, smiling at him. Of course, I didn't forget he smiled too. A gentle smile that completely ignored the astonished gazes around us. Shan immediately shouted, You too, you all ain't. I lost patience and interrupted her. You too what? How long did you study etiquette and still don't know how to speak properly? Don't you know you should call me younger aunt? Shan laughed hysterically. Younger aunt, stop gilding yourself. My younger uncle would never. Before she finished, she saw Shan Hanuman's unmistakably smug expression. She seemed choked. I laughed, looking at her. All thanks to you. Everything you taught the younger uncle, you loved. I thought I was good enough to make Shan furious to death. When the party ended, Thai Dubai chased after me. Tian, what's going on with you and President Shan? You and President Shan, how can you be involved? He's almost 30. How can it be so shameless and not know dignity just for money? Facing his reproach, I just glanced at him lazily, adjusting my clothes casually. I'm not with Shan Hanuman because of money. Thai Dubai frowned, as if realizing something. Seeing his face, I said coldly, Not for money, then who? I was silent for a moment, then said coldly, You should be ashamed. If it's not money, then what? I know your company is in trouble. You have no choice but to approach Shan, hoping for investment from Shan Corporation. But your feelings for me never changed. You told me to wait for you. When you take over the company successfully, you'll come back for me. Then you'll pamper me like a princess. But I didn't believe it. Still fought with you and called Shan my good friend. I'd never do that. You had no choice left. She confessed to you first. For the future, you gave in. Now you're with me. Isn't it to keep you and Shan apart? Hearing him, I really had to reevaluate human limits. I used to like Thoi Dubai because I thought he was truly kind, gentle, considerate, and careful. But later, I realized he wasn't like that. Especially when his company had problems, he became irritable and came to me, wanted me to help create an opportunity to meet Shan. He said only this could save his family. Then he painted a beautiful picture, always loving me. All of it was just ignorance. Of course, I didn't believe such nonsense, nor did I want to help him. Hence we argued again and again, until I had no feelings left. I didn't even want to be friends. This was a principle. I would never help him deceive another girl whose life was difficult. Even if I didn't help, they still got entangled. Whether true or false, I didn't care anymore. We've made enemies. I didn't need to be the good girl and help them. But now, I didn't want Thai Dubai to gild himself, so I bluntly told him. I'm with Shan Hanuman not for money, but for him. To be clear, I like his body. No wonder he was gifted by heaven. Shan Hanuman learned quickly in this matter. Both of us felt satisfied, so I'm willing to be with him. A person who sometimes needed to live for pleasure. No sooner had I spoken, Shan ran up with red swollen eyes. She pointed at Thoi Dubai, voice full of agitation. So you mean you're with me not because you like me, but to use me? At this point, Thai Dubai no longer bothered to hide. Don't play innocent like that. Do you really like me? Or is it just the thrill of stealing someone else that satisfies you more? Keep your chats careful. What a show. If I had sunflower seeds, I'd snack and watch. Perhaps my joy at others' pain was too obvious. Shan instantly turned her gaze to me. Hua Tian, I never expected you to have such guts, enough to seduce my younger uncle, but so what? For someone like my younger uncle, he'd just play with you. Sooner or later, you'll be abandoned. As she spoke, her pupils shrank. Shan Hanuman stepped forward, laughing coldly. His gaze swept over the two. You raised children well. now managing my affairs too. The Shan family was indeed a complicated network. The old man never married but had many illegitimate children. Relations between brothers were not good. Shan Hanuman was the youngest but most loved by the old man. With outstanding abilities that made his older brothers cautious, playing the kinship card before him was futile and would invite ridicule. Like at this moment, Shan's parents' faces were ugly, yet they still bowed apologetically. Just kids, no need to calculate. At no calculations, Shan Hanuyan sneered, then stepped forward, took my hand, eyes emotional as, "Older brother, you may not calculate, but I think your whole family should leave the country." Anyone who offended Shan Hanuyan was exiled worldwide. Living miserably, having children, they'd abandoned one daughter for the family's good life. The Thay family was no exception. Offend Shan Hanuyan, abandon a son, many others stood ready to replace. In short, they were all unlucky. So was I. At 3 a.m., I helplessly watched Shan Hanuman on top of me. The water in the bathtub had been stirred and shaken, yet he hadn't stopped. I couldn't help pushing him. "Aren't you tired?" He struggled to lift his head from my neck, then bent down to kiss my lips. "I'm not tired, not even a little." After saying that, he continued. An explosion of sensation spread through my body. I thought another sleepless night awaited.